CTV Sports. For 35 years, Canada's leader in figure skating coverage.
Underhill and Martini. Two names that have really combined to form one thought. Magic. They've been weaving it for as long as they can remember. And now they pay a visit to Ottawa, where in 1984 they captured a world championship. They return not only as former champions, but as legends, celebrating 20 years together on ice. Today, from the nation's capital, José Chouinard, Elizabeth Manley, the remarkable Brasseur and Eisler, and the fabulous Barbie and Paul. Also ready to compete, Brian Orser. And that kid from Caroline, Kurt Browning, at the Toyota Canadian Professional Figure Skating Championship.
And Dennis Petrov.
They were the Olympic silver medalists back in 1992. They were former Soviet champions when the USSR was a nation. They are former world pro champions from Russia, Elena Bechki and Dennis Petrov.
Extremely well done. These are a perfect example of Russian pair skating. They do all the difficult moves, but they combine it with great artistry and unison. Throw triple Salchow, one of the easier throws. You saw the throw triple loop, which is a more difficult throw. But anytime you're in the air 3 turns, it's hard.
Well done. Beshki and Petrov. You hate to categorize anything or put a stamp on something, but that was very Russian.
Yes, it was. They incorporate all of the moves. You notice they had great solo spins. You didn't see the other teams do the solo spins. Good strong jumps, all of the pair moves, skated to classical music. Very difficult for the judges to judge this.
Some very unique maneuvers, too.
Exactly. They're all original. And here comes the throw triple sow. Thought she might have a little bit of a problem in the landing. We'll see on this. Looked like she might have touched the foot there. Yeah, just a bit there. Here's the solo spin with the good unison. And you know how they do this? By watching. They head spot, and the man actually watches the lady and adjusts if he's ahead or behind. It's extremely difficult to do and takes a lot of time to work at.
And communication.
Exactly.
Barb and Paul backstage, watching and waiting. Barb Underhill will be joining us later tonight when we will also have the artistic program, and she'll also be alongside for commentary. What do you think? Do you think this team has a chance to be leading right now?
They could be in the running. As I said, it's very difficult for the judges. They're trying to compare a Barbie and Paul team to skate to contemporary to a classical team. So it's a hard call.
9.8. 9.8. 9.8.
Pretty good marks so far.
Yes, the judges have gone with the technical aspect of the program, and I think it's because they incorporated all the pair skating moves. That's why they got those marks.
So the artistic marks, worth 40%, will gauge who will be leading.
9.9. 9.9.
Oh, look at these marks coming up.
9.9.
The judges liked it, Kerry.
Well, they're in first place based on the technical aspect, and that's what this is all about, this technical program.
Beshki and Petrov, the leaders. Here are the Underhill and Martini of the 90s. Isabelle Brasseur, Lloyd Eisler, 5-time national champions, 93 world champions, and crowd pleasers to the max.
You're going to see an aerial display. This team has the most difficult lifts, the highest throws, the highest twists. With this because of his strength, he will just overthrow it. Oh, that was a nice one. Real nice. Watch the height of this. Isabelle and Lloyd have done the best job of combining professional moves with their amateur moves. They've maintained the quality, but they've got the new exciting adagio things. They've made a great transition into this professional world.
Magnificent as always. Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler. If you based it on degree of difficulty alone, they were superior.
Yes, they were. They have the most difficult moves by far. I think that the judges now are going to have a real tough time. Here comes the throw triple sow cow. 3 turns in the air. Well landed. Everybody thinks the man throws the girl. Really, he just follows through. It's her jump. This is a hydrant lift where he catches her and she somersaults underneath. That's a very difficult move to do and a real scary move. I mean, you gotta, I'm sure they spent a lot of time working on that.
You know Lloyd so well from years and years ago when this guy started skating as a single skater.
I had him for a long time. Always was probably the best male pair skater I've ever seen. Very, very sure on its feet, never fell. Great control, great strength. Just everything you want in a male pair skater.
It's funny, too, you know, sometimes people, outsiders, watch Lloyd, and sometimes he comes off a little bit off the edge, off the wall.
He's just an aggressive, great competitor. He's a great golfer, too. It's a golf ball a mile.
I was going to say also, but if you know him, he's a real softy.
Yes, he is.
9.7 on the technical mark. That one likely will be thrown away. It could be very tight atop the leaderboard.
It will be, because sometimes they artistically don't get as good a marks as what they do in the technical. So it'll be based on these marks.
9.8 so far. 9.9. Beshki and Petrov had a couple of 9.9s.
It's going to be tight.
Isabelle Brasseur recently married to Rocky Marvel. Total 98.2. 2/10 off of the leaders, Beshki and Petrov. So the Canadian pair of Brasseur and Eisler, second place, Underhill and Martini third. The leaders, the Russians, after the pair's technical program. Brasseur and Eisler are second, Underhill and Martini.
Welcome to Ottawa.
It's time to compete.
Check this out.
Ottawa, this is my turf. Hope you enjoy the show.
One program down, one to go. And already, Kurt Browning is in command after a brilliant performance that left Ottawa breathless and Kurt practically speechless. The pairs event, led by the classical Russians, Beshki and Petrov, while Karen Kadavy leads the women into tonight's artistic program at the Toyota Canadian Professional Figure Skating Championship. Because she had to work tonight with partner Paul Martini. 20 years they have been together as a pair. World champions in 1984 right here in Ottawa.
I think the emotion in this program is going to be something we have never seen before.
May they skate together for another 20 and many more.
I just have never seen a team that has so much emotion between the two of them. And it's almost when you're watching like you're intruding. It's just something that is a magic with them. Very few pair teams have that. And they don't need to do difficult moves. The throw is a throw single axle. But it's big, it's fast, it's secure, and more important, it's choreographed to tie into the whole program. Here's the emotion. It's God-given.
They really leave audiences spellbound, don't they? They've had so many signature pieces over the years, and I think this ranks up right with them all.
It certainly does.
Underhill and for Martini. 9.9.
Here come the marks
9.7.
for technical merit
9.8. 9.9.
and artistic impression.
9.7.
And again, they will be added to the marks from their earlier program for a combination total.
9.9.
These are the important ones.
9.9. 9.9. 9.8.
Hi, Sammy. Hi, Matthew. I love you.
9.9 and 9.9.
98.4 and a total of 196.1. That is what everyone will shoot for now. Underhill and Martini are the leaders, and we'll be back. Well, get ready to flip, flop, and fly, Kerry Leach. Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler.
Which one's the guy?
They both are dressed in black.
It's the type of number that Isabelle might do best. High energy. The crowd really gets involved. Now here's the aerial display. Not on your life. You're seeing guys do backflips, and now you're going to see Isabelle do a couple.
Isabel Sur Moore.
Wow.
This is so tough as a judge. You've just seen the emotion of Martini and Underhill, and then all of a sudden you see this type of a program. So I'm not envious of the role that they are in over there.
Aren't you glad you're not the referee?
Certainly, yeah. This is not comparing apples to apples.
No, but boy, these two together are incredible.
Well, Lloyd's always liked to perform. He in ice shows as a youngster, he was always one of the stars, and certainly has no inhibitions at all. Here's the backflips. Now, Lloyd helps her over, but it still is generated by Isabel. They've invented a lot of pair moves in the professional pair skating ranks. That was one of them. Certainly this.
And they keep pushing the envelope, too. You know, they've been around for a few years now. You know, it's not, they're not getting any younger, but they keep going higher, keep going faster, coming up with new routines.
It's the nice thing about professional skating. They keep taking it to a new level.
That, by the way, is Mrs. Rocky Marble, Isabel Brasseur. Got married this past summer.
9.7, 9.9, and 9.9.
9.7 low, 9.9 high. They need 98 or better to move in front of Barb and Paul.
9.8, 9.9.
You can hear the audience voice their displeasure over the 9.8s. They are crowd pleasers for sure. 98.5. Yes, they are in first place. 196.7 is the mark to beat. But this pair is next, the leaders, after the technical program. And we'll be...
Elena Ovechkin and Denis Petrov.
They had an enchanting classical technical program. The former USSR champions, Elena Ovechkin, Denis Petrov, the leaders.
This is a different role for them. They're still skating to classical music, but they're starting to add a little bit of comedy to the routine and much more dramatic. And it's an interesting. So I think the influence of North America has affected their skating. Great adagio move, hand-hand loop lift into a forward somersault. They're the only pair that does that move. You come back to the throws again. As we were saying, most of the teams tend in the artistic program not to do the difficult skills. Right off the bat, they're in there doing them, and that's why they're winning a lot of these events. Variation on a forward inside death spiral. He supports her with his free leg, which is very difficult for him because he doesn't have the availability to put that foot back into pivot. spirals, lifts. They always incorporate everything. Between Soviet pair teams and others is the fact that they are always, both people, very, very strong single skaters.
The Olympic silver medalists from Albertville, the World Pro Champions from 1992. Will they be the Toyota Canadian Pro Champions? What do you think?
It's going to be tough, Paul. They still have everything. They combine some adagio. They still give you the feeling that it's pair skating. And there's no tricks involved. But it's going to be close. Now watch this. This is really, watch how close her feet come to his face. I mean, that's a very dangerous move, but extremely well done.
As many of the moves are in pair skating.
Look at the instinctive unison. They just always do it. Here's combining a pair spin with some very difficult lifts through it.
You have to give them credit also, Kerry, for just staying together. They were married at one time.
Exactly.
And they're divorced, and they continue to skate.
And best friends. And here's that variation on the forward inside death spiral. So adding a little bit of something that's different to it, difficult, but always makes the pair moves very, very interesting to the audience and to the judges.
So the situation is this. Beshki and Petrov need 98.3 or better to beat Brasseur and Eisler. We'll know almost right away from that first set of marks, too. Oh, and they're strong. 9.8, 9.9. I don't know if they're going to be touched, Kerry.
Well, they give you the entire package, and so they're always going to be very, very difficult to beat unless they make a mistake.
I think they know they've got it. Here come the artistic marks. Check it out. 9.8. 9.8. And yes, 99.0. Total 197.4. The Toyota Canadian Professional Champions for 1996, the Russians, Elena Beshki and Denis Petrov. Classy and classical, Beshki and Petrov. The champions of the Toyota Canadian Pro, Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler in second position, ahead of Underhill and Martini. Urbanski and Marvel are fourth. $50,000 to the champions, who are joined